Running the country in the interim. Talks with Samantha, a success. Ranjan's rejection was Ali Raja's gain. How Hesha let go of Lak Amma's hand. Ranil wants the government to get money from Sakraya.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Running the country in the interim. Presently, the country is in an interim period political-wise. Minor hiccups are there, but everyone talks about how a trio of ministers managed to run the affairs of state. The biggest worry is the economy. But many commentators keep mum on that nowadays. Even the opposition seems to have ceased fire. All that is because it is said to be too early to criticise or rather comment. Talks with Samantha, a success. President AKD had a virtual discussion on the 11th with USAID Administrator Samantha Power. The two exchanged views on matters of mutual interest and explored avenues for future cooperation. Notably, Power said that USAID is willing to support the government aligning with the manifesto presented to the people. She also assured AKD that they are prepared to support Sri Lanka in any way needed. A real evaluation of the government cannot be made during this interim period. So the new government to be formed following the November polls is awaited. What's more, attacking sort of critics in the very beginning will not be tolerated because the government's popularity is at a peak now. The Elections Commission says 690 parties and groups will contest the election. Everywhere, the matter of nominations had been the key issue, except for the NPP. Minor disagreements in the NPP. Not even the NPP was spared from trouble of a minor nature. Many well-known characters expected to receive nominations as newcomers take advantage of the NPP's public approval and get elected to the Dewan. But the NPP prepared the nomination lists without giving regard to their status. So many artistes who intended to make it from Colombo dropped out. Past offences closed doors for Kamal. One of them is Kamal Adararachchi. His history is quite an issue. Some remembered Romani Bartholomeus and the numerous girls who took him to courts. The NPP knew that his inclusion will keep it busy with countering criticism against him. In the end, Kamal left for Uvindu and got nominations from the faraway Trincomalee. Ranjan's rejection was Ali Raja's gain. The very same thing happened to Ranjan too. The MPP kept silent although he wanted nominations from Gampaha. Some questioned as to who would answer it if Piumi's audios are raised and mud is thrown against them. So Ranjan got rejected. He didn't give up. He made it courtesy Diaspora Alaraja's party with Dilshan as his key collaborator. Vadivil too is in the microphone party after being shown the door by many in the past. How Govindu got cheated by Dilith's tricks. Dilith's MJP had the worst troubles over nominations. Govindu was at the book fair when he got to know that Dilith was planning a different game without approval from the Sarvajana Balaya Executive Committee. A university chum of his inquired if the party had been disbanded. I hear that you are not contesting under Star, but under MJP's medal. Is that true? Roshan, Daham, Jayasumana have all joined the MJP. SLPP's Milan is there too. Dilith gives them positions generously, his friend said. Govindu speaks his heart out. Govindu is a man with a very bad temper. He immediately telephoned Dilith and inquired about it. That one suggested discussing things at the executive committee. A determined Govindu went to the meeting to speak his heart out, recalling how they had opposed Sirisena over Urumith Thanadu, ATKA, SOFA, etc. He inquired if his son was now in their fold. Dilith reacted strongly, iterating that he intended to send at least one candidate from every district to Parliament. If they are not corrupt, that's all that matters, he replied. Govindu said he was okay with Roshan, but questioned the basis for sending that one elsewhere and making Daham the leader for Polonnaruwa. But Dilith didn't answer any of these. Undercutting and a big mess. Roshan has been made the leader for Kalutara. Wirawansa's man Jayantha got cut there. From Anuradhapura, Jayasumana has been transferred to Gampaha with a proposal to give Anuradhapura to Shehan. Shehan and 4 others on a secret mission. Shehan joined together with 4 close associates of Ranil, Kanchana, Pramitha, Anuradha and Kanaka. But Shehan and Kanchana came under a barrage of attacks. Party men wanted only Pramitha, Anuradha and Kanaka in, but Shehan said it is all 5 in or all 5 out. Gamanpila too spoke about it, noting that accepting the unqualified without preliminary agreement will lose winning chances for those who made sacrifices. So Dilith proposed that Weerawansa, Gamanpila, Govindu and Weerasinghe could be in the national list. Then came the question of how many of them will make it, given the total votes that will be polled by the party. Govindu rejected it, stressing that none from Yuthukama would be allowed in the national list. Weerawansa spoke along the same lines, but went further when he said that no one from his party would contest either. Anyway, Dilith has managed to include certain characters with talent. Rajitha Hapuarachchi of Gampaha is one of them. A chartered accountant and former Western provincial councillor, he is known in the Katana electorate as the person who quenched the people's thirst. During a severe drought, he pioneered a major community water supply project in the area. Sarvajana Balaya is in tatters. Things went far and the party is now in tatters. Govindu has become inactive, Weerawansa is silent, Vasu has left and only the CPSL remains undeterred. Yahampath and Gamanpila will contest from Colombo, Dilith and Jayasumana from Gampaha, Roshan from Kalutara, Daham from Polonnaruwa, Dilum from Kandy, Weerasumana from Matara and a businessman from Anuradhapura. How Hesha let go of Lak Amma's hand. Actress Damitha, aka Lak Amma, is deeply disappointed with her omission. I don't know how Hesha fell so low as to cut me after telling me to run the race together with him, she said after she was omitted from the Ratnapura nominations. She doesn't believe Sajith has any part in it. Damitha says she is prepared to prove herself before the media with evidence and will go to courts over the violation of her fundamental rights. Hesha says something different. A decision has been made not to field candidates from the outside, he stresses. Hesha concedes that Damitha has given much strength for the party as an actress. But there is a need for Ratnapura to have a national-level female leader. All the nominees are born, bred and live with the people of Ratnapura, he notes. But some say Hesha doesn't tolerate challenges in the district. He is more powerful than Sajith, they say. End of the journey for the Disanayakis. Gamini was considered a most experienced politician. Both his sons, Navin and Mayantha, are not contesting the upcoming polls. The former is with the UNP and the latter supports the SJB. After his repeated calls for unity between the two parties were in vain, Navin stood aside. Sajith transferred Mayantha from Kandy to Nuwara Eliya, a hard place to win. So, he too abandoned his idea of contesting. Does it mean the end of politics for the Disanayakes? A minister who dislikes fame. Vijitha is a very busy minister with many portfolios, including public security, foreign affairs and media. Even for journalists, he is unreachable over the phone. So far, he has not given a single phone call to any of the heads of state media institutions. An officer of one of these institutions remarked that the minister seems to like doing his job without getting any recognition. A long-serving employee there said the previous one regularly inquired if his name in the news is preceded by doctor. In the end, the SLBC sent him a file load of news broadcast about him. It is called the Acharya file, he said. What Ranil said about Akila. The Flower Road office was a busy one during the nominations signing. A Luthgamage dropped a bombshell when he inquired from Ranil if they were going to lose Akila. The boss said that one had the freedom to make his decisions. Ashok was said to have been prepared to broker Akila's entry to the SJB. Ranil wants the government to get money from Sakraya. By the way, Ranil referred to a cash-strapped budget and the King of Gods. There is a problem with the budget despite the election promises given. We cannot work outside the IMF agreement. We cannot raise state expenditure at will. I told the people that bitter truth. They believed the fairy tales. What I want is something good for the people, even by finding money from Sakraya, he said. That's it for today.
The Leader. දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.